We have Hollywood, Bollywood, and then we have the South Korean movie industry, which appears to be growing in leaps and bounds. Over the last 2 decades, the movie industry of South Korea has come a long way, and its future has never been brighter. Despite the global influence of the US and European movie industries, the Korean industry is coming out of the shadows and is starting to assert itself. But why so? Hello and welcome to yet another exciting video where we chronicle emerging trends in the entertainment scene. In today's video, we will tell you all about the growth of the South Korean film industry and further explain why it is booming despite challenges from all corners. So sit back, relax, and let us tell you a tale of a thriving industry from the far east of the globe. The COVID pandemic is here to stay. After ravaging the entire globe in 2020 and disrupting major and minor industries including the movie industry, 2021 has been a year of revival. One industry that is emerging from the pandemic a lot stronger than ever is the South Korean movie industry. Not to be confused with its Northern Korean neighbor, South Korea, whose capital is Seoul, has a thriving film industry. Although the cinemas have not reopened fully after they were shut down for much of last year to curb the spread, the film industry is still waxing stronger. Just like its counterpart in the West, South Korean filmmakers and production houses have turned to streaming platforms to market their works. While some restrictions have been dropped on cinemas, a large bulk of revenue has come from digital platforms and rebroadcasted movies across local and international television. Streaming platforms have also played a huge part in boosting the industry. If you skim through the movie offerings on many streaming platforms like Netflix, for instance, you will notice several South Korean exclusives on their backlogs. But there are several reasons for this success story. For starters, movies cost money to produce, and investors only invest in industries and projects that they consider profit-worthy. Based on current trends, the industry is very diverse, with a wide spread across continents. Having garnered a huge following across the globe, investors are able to recoup their initial capital outlay on movie projects they invest in. For example, the movie Dragon Inn had 2 parts which were released at the same time. Now, this is not a standard Hollywood practice or practiced in other Western industries for fear of one or both parts failing to hit expected heights. However, the producers released both parts at the same time and it was a huge success. Despite Dragon Inn being a low-budget movie, the movie was a tremendous commercial success. It had no major stars as part of the cast or a very interesting plot, but fans still appreciated the content. Another major low-budget film was ASURADO, which went on top of the South Korean VOD movie charts for several weeks. One major niche Koreans have become particularly famous for are their mystery thriller films like The Call. The Call was a mid-level movie with a leading face on Park SHIN-HYE. By the end of 2020, The Call has sold more than 50 million theatre admissions in less than a year. So to better understand why the South Korea's film industry appears to be doing so well, you need not look beyond the profit potential of the industry. With a large consumer base and so many links to other nations across the globe, local and foreign investors are funding new projects at a rapid rate. More investments attract more releases, and more releases create more exposure for the industry. Another reason why the industry is doing so well is due to the immense star power of certain stars in the industry. Take, for instance, Park SHIN-HYE, who many regard as a sweetheart of the entertainment industry. Another notable name is Young-Sep, who still remains popular after her appearance in the 2018 hit movie Burning by Lee Chang-dong. Just like Hollywood has always used popular names to sell movies, South Korea is doing likewise, and today some of its stars are recognized faces in far-off regions in Africa and the Middle East. To better understand the giant stride the K-film industry has made, we need not look further than the year 1993. The industry started quite small, and in 1993, the market share K-films had of the domestic market was just 16%. This meant that the industry was dominated by more than 80% of foreign movies. Between 1993 to 2013, local filmmakers had expanded their market share to hit a milestone of 64%. Another amazing turn of events saw 9 films enter the top 10 movies list of the Korean box office, as many more Koreans gradually accepted the works by local filmmakers. The number of viewers also increased, as the average Korean saw at least 4.25 Korean movies a year. To put this latest data into global context, that is the highest average in the world, as the K industry attracted more local viewers than even the American public to Hollywood movies. Besides the improvement of their filmmaking skills, another reason for the growth of the industry has been down to protectionism. During the military era, the media and entertainment industry was highly censored by the country's military leaders. However, at the turn of the 90s, this changed with the coming of democracy. Back then, a motion picture law was enforced in 1973, which restricted films that were highly critical of the junta. This all changed with the coming of democracy as media freedoms became the norm. Many filmmakers were able to express themselves in their films. In a reverse of old ways, democratic Korean leaders put policies in place to ensure a quota system. The quota system ensured that cinemas showed Korean films at least 146 days every year. This didn't go down well with the US, who lobbied against the decision and were able to persuade the government to reduce the 146 days to 73 days as part of a US-Korea agreement signed by both governments in 2006. While the US had its way, Korean filmmakers exploited the policy to their advantage by producing more films to fill up the gap. During the period when the new agreement took effect, K-films became a huge hit and grew in market share. If you have been watching Korean movies for a long time, you will notice a common theme in many of their movies. Extremism is the word for a lack of a better one. This trend has distinguished K-films from other movies produced by filmmakers from other countries. Though it is clear to see that Hollywood has greatly influenced their craft, it appears that Korea has taken what they learned from other industries to a whole new level. Extreme outbursts of passion, violence, death, sex and heroism are major themes of K-films. Regardless of the plot or the storyline, the creators have a way of working these extremes into the plot for the pleasure of their viewers. For viewers who enjoy extreme visual horror and passion, these themes appeal to them, which is another reason why their films are so popular as they are today. To put things into proper perspective, take a look at the massive ratings of horror series Squid Game. The South Korean drama has become Netflix's most successful series by popularity ever. Since its launch on the platform, it has drawn over 111 million viewers from over 80 countries, despite only debuting on the platform only 4 weeks ago. In this game of contest, winners walk away with millions of dollars while losers meet a bloody end. Such extremism is what has characterized South Korean movies for years, and there will only be more to come since fans of horror stories enjoy such plots. Also included in their films are what we call sentimental melodrama and scenes of crafted martial arts. To better understand why these two are an ever-constant trend in their movies, you only have to look back at the country's military past over the last 60 years of war and tension. Even today, the frosty relationship with North Korea influences some productions. So in all, for viewers who enjoy stories of extreme passion, K-films rank high on their list of favourites simply because the creators give them the type of movies that they like to see. The awards have followed too, as Koreans have started to gain international recognition beyond their island. At the 2020 edition of the Oscars, Korea won big with Yoo Jung-hyun, becoming the first Korean actor to win an Academy Award. She claimed the prize for the Best Supporting Actress for her role in MINARI, a story about a grandmother who relocated to the US to live with her daughter's family in a farming settlement in Arkansas. It was the first time a Korean has achieved the feat, and the award was the perfect honor for the actress whose career spanned 5 decades. Before then, she had already won a Spirit Award and BAFTA Award as Best Supporting Female Actor for her work in the same movie. In the same 2020 edition of the Academy Awards, Korean film Parasite won the Best Picture and Director Award. Parasite was a huge hit, which won 4 Academy Awards in all. Also of note is the fact that it was the first time a non-English movie had won top honours at the event. BONG JOON-HO directed the film and walked away with the honours on a night that brought Koreans all over the world immense prizes. Despite none of the actors winning any awards, Parasite was a victory for the entire industry. Moreover, there is a Korean film festival organised in Australia every year, which only goes to show just how far K-films have come. So there are multiple reasons as to why the industry is booming. While the success story is clear for all to see today, the work has been years in the making. Now we can all see the effect of the hard work put into developing the industry. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to our channel. Let us know your thoughts by leaving a comment down below as well. See you in the next one.